walking home, I've seen so many people go. Learn to make it on my own.
Welcome to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Arena. Tonight we wrap up our Rocket League Rumble. The Wolves and the Mammoths kicks things off in our lower finals, hoping to join the Stingrays in the grand finals, who will keep their title chances alive. We start tonight off with the Stingrays taking on the Wolves. I'm your host, Artie Rain, and joining me on desk is Joe Chigbrow. All right, so Joe, if I were to ask you what is kind of the best advice you can give to players when it comes to passing, what would you say to that?
I think open communication is super important, and I think making sure that you're relying heavily on that third man. Passing plays commit more than one players inherently to making the play work, so relying heavily on that third man and making sure that you're just kind of focusing on all the good and the bad of the possibilities, making sure you're prepared for anything, and communicating is what's going to make it accessible to everyone.
Sometimes I wish we could have access to the team comms to understand if they are communicating, but, you know, just based off of what we see on that virtual field, sometimes we can tell if they are. So let that sink into all of you Esports Tower players, is that there are some things that make it very obvious y'all aren't talking to each other, and if we see that, though we won't know your comms, you might say there might be something going wrong there. With that being said, we can take a quick look at the Esports Tower teams that we had coming in for this Rumble. That was the Wolves, the Lynx, the Mammoths, and the Stingrays. As we mentioned earlier, Mammoths and Stingrays will be our first teams going head-to-head, and before we jump into those games, I want to give a quick reminder to all of our friends on Twitch. Support your teams, celebrate the successes, be respectful to other fans. Mods will violate the mods won't violate the rules, but will remove anyone who violate these chat rules. You never know who's watching. We can see how we got here. Stingrays, Wolves. Wolves got knocked down. Stingrays took on the Mammoths after the Mammoths knocked down the Lynx. Now it's just the Stingrays waiting in that grand final spot. Wolves went up against the Lynx. They ended up moving forward. Now it's going to be Mammoths versus Wolves. Let's see who ends up going to those grand finals, as I do believe a team is out for revenge.
Yeah, we have kind of a stacked set of rosters coming forward into this. Kind of an interesting shift since we've seen in the last couple of weeks. The vets, so when I was last on here, kind of took it in a dominating sense. So I'm interested to see what kind of changes teams are coming back with to kind of counter that kind of play style this time.
I am in a very similar boat, and we are just going to jump right into our first game here, which is going to be the Wolves versus the Mammoths to kick off our entire night. And definitely, Wolves are hoping to make it to the grand finals because they want the revenge against the Stingrays. The question is, can they do it? I mean, they've clawed their way this far through the second chance bracket. Now it's just up to them to see if they can make it to the end. After kickoff, ball ends up in Mammoth's defensive third. Does get dunked down in front of the net, but Torque read it on the ground, bringing it across midfield. Stripe can't quite get it around one, but doesn't lose possession just yet.
State almost had an opportunity there, barely blocked by Wolves defense. The clear out's not probably fast enough. Torque's able to get there first, but not without paying with his life. Switch now pushing towards the sidewall. Free Ink with the response. So far, no shots able to be taken yet. An aggressive start, but nothing damaging so far. Torque with the pass off the wall back to himself. Can't get it underneath the defense. Wolves will play it back into their corner again. Free Ink has to get past the midfield line, has Switch in the way. The 50-50's up, and the 50-50 will go again, but this time onto the Wolves side. The Wolves need a way out of their end.
Well, before they can even find a way to get it out, it's going to be the Mammoths finding goal number 1 within 40 seconds. Going into the second kickoff, State is going to win it for the Mammoths, but lose possession almost immediately. As ball gets dunked down, double touch, tries to go in the net, cannot be found, and Not Sick will unfortunately lose out on their opportunity. Rose tries to reset the play.
Switch leaves it for State to take it into the corner. Has to get past one, has it past Free Ink, maybe has another touch off the ceiling. Takes the shot, will not be able to make contact or roll towards the net. Rose has plenty of time. Maybe takes it himself towards the wall. He does, and a pinch off from Switch will head over into the other corner. The Wolves now stuck in the same spot they've been in for most of this game, but they actually find a way out and almost take it the whole 9 yards. They'll be blocked at the last moment.
Rose tries to go for the aerial touch, manages it to do so. Not Sick takes the shot, it's too wide. Torque gets the save. As for Ink goes in to do just some disruption play. Not Sick gets demoed, but it doesn't matter. Rose, almost dead center of the net, finds the equalizer for the Wolves, and we are tied 1-aside with 3:17 on the clock.
50-50 over to Torque. So far, Mammoths leading off the kickoff, go under one defender, cleared out by Free, but it's mid. Switch can take the shot, he leaves it to the corner instead. Rose has a clear now. Wolves playing a lot of this game in their own corners, a safety spot to say the least, but they can't seem to find a way to find consistent pressure against this Mammoths roster. They can't hold it at the midfield line. Switch trying to create another lead for his team, but he just can't get past the Wolves in the midfield. And now the play will reset in favor of the Wolves.
Not Sick sends it to Rose, who dunks it down to Not Sick, who has an unfortunate misplay. Switch going forward, might be able to bring it to the midfield stripe, but pops it too high. As for Ink tries to capitalize, can't quite do it. Rose pinches it towards the ground. It bounces under one, over the next, and that's another goal for the Wolves.
Rose leading the pack on goals right now. Definitely someone you have to keep an eye on if you're the Mammoths defense right now. Don't give him too much space to do what he wants. Most of his plays being almost predominantly self-created. We'll have to see if the Mammoths or the Wolves have any plans to get those passing plays going. Torque at the midfield lines, not able to get past the Wolves, so the shot will remain on target as Not Sick is able to put it down, but not quite in. State forcing it out.
Switch sends it to Torque, plays it off the wall, gets it over Free Ink. Can't break through the final defensive wall of Rose. Sends it to the side. Unfortunately, sends it too far in front of them. Does get a touch from the Mammoths. Not Sick will send it to the midfield stripe as Free Ink pushing forward. Tries to center it up to Rose off that back wall, but unfortunately Switch is going to be the one to grab it instead.
50-50 in front of the Mammoths net. State launches it over to the side wall. Clock counting down here to minute 30. Not quite any developments yet. The midfield line seems to be the place that has the most fluctuation right now. Neither team able to keep the battle going that long. But they are able to keep pressure from the corner sides. I believe actually, it looks like somehow, maybe it's the bug that I've seen a couple times, but I think State's car changed mid-game.
What?
He definitely started with the Jeep Wrangler, right?
Yeah,
now he's on the Nissan Skyline, but we never saw him leave the game and then join back in.
So it was just like a UI bug or something on Observer end possibly?
Well, actually, there's been bugs in the past where you've loaded in after a goal with a completely different preset than you started the game with.
That is comical. I hope it doesn't disrupt anyone's gameplay. I know the different hitboxes can be a little bit of a pain, but right now Wolves are doing A-okay so far. 50 seconds remaining on the clock. They're in the lead by 2. That double goal lead definitely being important. Yeah, State's car changed.
Definitely. I thought I was going insane for a moment.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But
State always has that blue car with the wings on it when they're playing for Esports Tower, so we're not cuckoo. They did start out on a different vehicle. I don't know. Perhaps the first vehicle we saw was the wrong one. I give up. I don't care. We've got 25 seconds left. Wolves are currently leading. Let's see if the car swaps start to help out the Mammoths at all. Torque to Switch, I think, was an attempted pop-up, but it got whiffed on. Ball sent to the corner. Switch will corral it. Send it to Torque at the midfield stripe. But now Switch has to rush in and pop it up. It's going to be State who does it instead. It is a defensive third of Wolves territory. They won't be able to send us into overtime, but they'll be able to close that goal gap right at the end. But instead, ball hits the ground. Wolves walk away with a game 1 victory.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 4-goal game. Definitely the Wolves had control for a lot of it, but it didn't really feel like a shutout on either end. If you kind of looked at it from a bird's eye view, it kind of felt like both teams had close to probably an equal amount of pressure and an equal amount of boost control. I think what it just came down to is that the defense on one side was better than the other that game.
I really think Rose was doing a fantastic job on defense, and I do believe they actually came from one of the high schools that used to play into the Esports Tower League. I'm not positive, but if it is the same person I'm thinking of, they were actually pretty decently ranked when it came to doubles, or they're just a brand new face to Esports Tower as a whole, and I'm completely whiffing my memory, which happens a lot. I apologize, but they're doing a fantastic job working their way into this new system. I mean, like this new group that they are in, because if they're a brand new player, they played almost flawlessly. I mean, there was very little mistakes that I could see, just moments where they were a little too far forward, but they made up for it definitely and prevented goals from going in.
Yeah, and the shot putting was very good, obviously. There were some that should have been saved, I would argue, by the Mammoths roster. But at the end of the day, taking enough quality, strong shots at the net will find the target eventually if you wear down that defense enough. So
now, the question is, are those bugs going to get fixed here for game number 2? For the Mammoths, will they end up switching cars every goal that is scored? Let's hope not, because that could probably be really annoying. It looks like State is going to be on the correct car. Not Sicko, going to pop it up. I think meant to go a little higher, so instead their teammate actually is going to tee off of them, and it was Asfree Inc. who just came over, not Sicko, and finds goal number 1 for the Wolves.
an early lead, not what you want if you're mounting a comeback as the Mammoths, but 1 goal with 4 minutes left on the clock, more than that even. It's not too pressuring, it's just not how you wanted to start. It's not the vibe you wanted in the first 30 seconds of the game. They're kind of stuck in their own end right now. Wolves kind of taking command of the midfield line, and Not Six able to find a second one. The Wolves leading 2-0 now with that security goal to their name off a passing play from the corner.
I guess the rest of us have COVID if Not Sick is able to be involved with 2 goals back-to-back that quickly. Possibly a third right here, but instead it takes double defenders to stop Not Sicko from getting a goal. Rose now, it's a 2-on-1. They get past one. Can they get past another? They will not. Instead, they pop it to the midfield. Asfree Inc. goes for the shot, tries to thread the needle. 2 defenders both whip. Double commit from the offense. None of the shots go in. Ball still here in the defensive third of Mammoth territory. Not Sicko goes for another shot. Follow up from Rose. Top right corner, and that's goal number 3 for the Wolves.
The ball just rolling in front of the Mammoths net. No one there to be found. An easy shot, to say the least. Something needs to change for Mammoth's defense. The Wolves are running away with this game. It's only a best of 3.
Esports
so
Tower best of 3. I mean, I think that was 3 or 4 shots on goal within one rotation coming out from the side of the Wolves. So it's really difficult if your defense is corralled in front of their own net to make anything happen. But as I'm saying, that state tells me to take my gosh darn foot out of my mouth and finds the first goal for the Mammoths. 3 minutes, 33 seconds on the clock.
This is definitely the 3-1 that you're more comfortable with if you're the Mammoths, having this much more time left on the clock. We'll have to see what changes for them to kind of consistently get those goals back, what the strategy was for that last one even. But right now it feels like the Wolves have their number down a little bit. Rose leading that pack with a clear out to the midfield line. No response yet from the Mammoths. They just have to tap it up, but no response. So Not Sick is able to hit it towards the backboard, and a clear out from State will save them a little longer.
And as a reminder to anyone who's watching, as this is a best of 3, currently Wolves are at match point and trying to make sure that they further that score gap. 2 minutes have elapsed so far, and they're leading by 3. Mammoth struggling to find a second goal for themselves. Off kickoff, it's going to be switched, but the response comes from Rose. Elevation, they're going to look to touch it down below State. Torque tries to come in and prevent any sort of reset for the Wolves. It does get cleared from Switch and State, but State, before hitting the midfield stripe, gets demoed, so Torque has to make up the space in an aerial play over as Free Inc. tries to dunk it into the net. The pin drop lands on Not Sick.
Clear away by Not Sick. Torque is up, taps it down, but it's just in front of his net. Another clear that definitely wasn't what you wanted if you're the Mammoths. Just kind of serves it up on a silver platter there for Wolves' offense.
We're crossing now into the back half here of game number 2 with Wolves at series point. It looks like an intentional misdirect from the side of the Wolves. Cross-map aerial play as Rose goes coast to coast with their teammate right by them to be prepared for any disruption for a give and go. Not even necessary. State wins the kickoff, but loses it to Not Sicko, just pushing it too far forward off the back wall. We have Rose go for a second touch, but they left their defense completely open, and State capitalizes. That's goal number 2 for the Mammoths.
Still plenty of time left on this clock, but 4 goals in 2 minutes against a predominantly strong midfield line for the Wolves is just going to be kind of difficult. State is willing to lead that charge, though. Almost gets the double tap. He's not quite able to do it. He's 1 goal off of a hat trick this game, regardless of victory. But the defense is just not there from the Mammoths still. The Wolves running the offensive line. It feels like while they are putting a lot of pressure on, most of that pressure is going unchecked by the back line.
Unfortunately, and I think Perhaps the Mammoths might have been a little underestimated. A switch off kickoff did find goal number 3, but they have to make it 4 goals, roughly 1 every 30 seconds now in order to equalize with the Wolves and send us to a game 3. Rose grabs the ball out of their defensive third, elevates, drops it down in the back defensive third of the Mammoths territory. Torque now going for their own elevation, is a little bit too low, but gets it past one defender. Can they get it past the second? They will not, and they're forced to reset the play again.
Switch, beats out one defender. State is up to take the shot. Free Ink towards the wall, gets the clip and is able to push it downfield. Torque can't do anything with it, passes back to Free Ink. It just goes for the roll off the sidewall. Looking for maybe a negative angle here. Actually pitches it with a Mammoth offender at the midfield line. They will find the back of the net all the way from their own end. Not what you're looking for, but don't have to stress about it too much right now if you're the Wolves.
Mammoths took a little bit more time than what we needed there for 30-second mark. They took 40. So now to make up 3 goals, they roughly have, I think, 22 seconds per. Ball is in Wolf territory, but is quickly cleaned out and swept into the defensive third for Mammoth. Shot on goal from Rose isn't going to happen. They're too flat to the goal. Try to reset the play. There's not enough speed on that ball, but Sicko finds the back of the net anyway, and now Wolves are in a dominating 4-goal lead.
50-50. Looks like one out by Rose, but he won't be there to get to the ball first. Actually, no one made contact on the wall, just reset. Basically another kickoff attempt here, but finally a 50-50 will spill out towards the Mammoths. Rose being there to respond first, takes a clear out mid towards the Not Sick, takes the pass back over to Rose, but Rose got bumped, and now the Wolves won't be able to execute on that passing play. Great opportunity there, though, to say the least. Not Sick looking for the 50-50 pass one, gets it there, but the midfield line is still uncalled for. Rose beats it out, goes for the double tap, but it'll just bounce a little too high. State with the clear out, but not able to get out of his own end as Free Ink leads the pack.
Shot on goal from Not Sicko, does not find the back of the net. Ball to midfield stripe, and we do see the defense from the Wolves has rectified their previous offenses of being too far forward. Play it a little bit further back. Not Sicko looking for a no time left on the clock goal. Rose also trying to do it, but they get demoed instead. Ball popped up in defensive third for Mammoth. Perhaps they can find a 5th goal here just to walk away with some semblance of an internal heart victory. Don't know if that'll happen, though. Ball's spending a lot of time on their territory, even though we're in no time left on the clock.
Wow. So there were literally there were 3 times more goals in that last game than the first game.
I'm excited to go into finals. That's all I got to say. But you can definitely see in comparison to last week that Rose and As Free Ink have been working very heavily between the two of them to make sure they're connecting passes and finding goal-scoring opportunities as teammates. And ultimately, going at it alone can only get you so far. And if you want to increase your chances of success, you definitely have to level up those teaming skills. Esports Tower really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. I'd like to give a shout out to Coach Jake. And if you are watching and haven't checked out the Esports Tower Club, you definitely should. It's a fast track to help you rank up. With the Wolves taking down the Mammoths, we have a rematch in the grand finals between the Stingrays and the Wolves. Is there any words of advice you'd give to the Stingrays? Because I think they need to be a little bit careful going into this first game.
I would say just stick to what's working. Confidence in yourself, obviously. Always respect the other team, but having confidence more positively on yourself rather than against the enemy team is what's going to set you up for victory. Just make sure you're playing every game like game 1.
I agree 100% with Joe's statement. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll jump into our grand finals games just after that. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
It's me, your Idaho Central Credit Union app. Rough morning? Is that a mobile deposit? I got this. Beat it, Charlie. We're making money moves here. Cha-ching. And done.
Charlie, come on, outside.
Sorry about the mess. I'd help if I had hands. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything. There are things we do for each other. Not because we're told. Not because someone asked. Just because we're in this together. And it's the nice thing to do. Idaho Central Credit Union. Giving back is what membership is all about.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast, the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Esports Arena, and up next is our grand finals. The Wolves are going to be taking on the Stingrays in an epic 5-game series. After round 1, who is going to come out on top in the grand finals? I'm still your host, Artie Rain. Joining me on desk is Joe Chigbrow. And you can see one of our own Rocket League players there on stage. Okay, so Joe, this game, it's a rematch, obviously. So Wolves, I think definitely they're not going to underestimate their opponent at the Stingrays. They've been working for an entire week. They're ready to go into this, heads held high after that dominating fashion of a victory. Granted, it was just a 2-game best-of-3 series. But if you were to give any advice to the Wolves, because obviously Stingrays are undefeated right now, so they're sitting pretty confidently, what would you say to them other than we're not allowed to say this is game 1 in a 0-0 series? That one's off the table. What's the next series of advice you would give to them?
I think all I would say is that if you look at like the highest level of any esport or any like sport in general, there's no such thing. Even on the most dominating teams, there's no such thing as 100% win rate. And so today could be your day. Like it just could be. So at the end of the day, just keep your head held high. Make sure to focus on your gameplay rather than your opponents. Make sure that you're playing to your outs, what you know works, and just making sure you come in like every game is game 1.
That is honestly some fabulous advice coming from the desk, but we can take a quick look here at how things shook out last week. Like I said, Stingrays and Wolves, first game we got to see last Monday. Stingrays sent the Wolves down to the second chance bracket. They then took on the Mammoths and sent them down there too. So Mammoths and Wolves went head-to-head to see who could get revenge on the Stingrays. So now hopefully Mammoths are going to be cheering on the Wolves to bring the Stingrays down and walk away with the victory. Because if you're not going to make it to the grand finals, you always want to say at least you lost to the best. But I guess in this case, both teams will have the ability to say that. However, before we jump into this game, we actually want to give a quick shout out and congratulations to all of our Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from the club and been offered scholarships across the country. In the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received over $3.9 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and earned these scholarship opportunities. The players that receive these scholarships are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we cannot be more excited and proud to see all of the opportunities these players are getting. Congratulations to each and every single one of you. That is definitely something to be able to gloat about and keep your head held high about. Don't let anybody tell you that your hobby cannot become a full-time job or help you go to college. So, but we are going to jump into what I believe is our last Rocket League game of the day. We could have a show match, but I could be crazy. We do have a show match. Thank you, production. With that being said, we're about to jump into, I think it's a best of 7.
Yeah, I think it's best of
which
7,
is then going to turn into a best of 5 and then a best of 3. So
Right, they always
stick
do.
around. We're going to be here for about 35 minutes minimum for some fantastic Rocket League play. But both of these teams are desperately wanting to claim the first championship title here for our renewal of the Rocket League series. Best of luck to all 6 players. Gosh, I just love this.
Oh, and we're in.
And there was a shot on goal from Cran, saved by Rose, that defensive powerhouse that we have talked about for the Wolves. The question is, can they keep that up? Looks like we got one new player, though they could be someone else, because CZC implies that it's Crazy Cat, Flow State. So I'm pretty sure the team of the Stingrays, some pretty well-rounded veteran players, to say the least, as they find goal number 1.
Cran with a great pass out mid here. Just Wolves not quite able to get away in time. A good shot from the Stingrays will give them an early lead with only a little bit more than 30 seconds taken off this clock. Now 50-50 with Free Ink, winning it out. Flow State, or I should say Crazy Cats, pushing it towards the far corner. Not quite able to get out yet. Rose with the challenge, playing it in the midfield line, and Free Ink will take the pass towards the back wall. It spills down, but Cran has the clear. Not quite able to make a play of it yet. The Wolves now shut out of their offensive end. Free Ink has to play defense in the corner.
Ball here, defensive third of Wolves territory. Cran tries to pop it into the corner as Free Ink brings the ball across midfield stripe. Elevation from essentially Boss. He's got to save the shot from Free Ink. Rose tries to dunk it down, but Cran makes another save at midfield stripe. Not Sicko elevates, but the ball dies down in front of the defensive third for the Stingrays. So they do manage to clear it into Wolves territory where all defenders are bunched up. Essentially, Boss finds the crack in the armor, and that's goal number 2 for the Stingrays.
Cran with a great tap down pass, just not quite the clear that Rose wanted. Spills out straight to essentially Boss. That will lead them with their security goal now. About a little bit less than 4 minutes left on the clock. 50-50. Ends up going for the fake kickoff maybe, but there was no one in response. So it almost looks like it was a whiff. They're safe, however. They're able to get past the midfield line here again. Actually get past 2 defenders. Could be a goal-scoring opportunity here. I think it is.
Ooh.
And they do take it the whole way off of a missed kickoff. The Wolves' midfield line just fell apart.
This is a best of 7, so even if game number 1 doesn't go in the favor of the Wolves, or game number 2, or even game number 3, there's still an opportunity for a reverse sweep at the midway point for an entire best of 7 series. But right now, Wolves should be looking to find their first goal. We're at 3 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock, and the ball has spent a lot of time here in Wolves territory.
Flow State, or Crazy Cat.
It's Crazy Cat.
Yeah, Crazy Cat is leading the way there, but he does actually pick up a demo to stop the pressure at the midfield line. Cran's able to clean up from the debacle, leaves it back for Crazy Cat. They play it off each other. That is by far the craziest use of the unfortunate fall in front of the ball technique that I've ever seen. He passes it back to himself off of his
It was all
teammate.
calculated.
It
100%
had to have been.
calculated.
There's no way. Or he just got absolutely shocked because his teammate fell in front of him and then just rolled in front of him. Like, oh my gosh. But that had to be almost an unreadable play from Wolves defense. I don't think I've ever seen that in all my hours of watching and playing this game.
It's like that TikTok meme of no one's going to know.
Yeah, they're going to know.
How would they know is what Cran just said, as they did find a fabulous goal. Crazy Cat gets a save off of Free Ink shot. Rose's shot's going to be saved by essentially Boss. Another shot on goal is going to be saved by Cran. Free Ink goes for another one as Crazy Cat takes out Sicko. Ball at midfield stripe gets popped up. Not Sicko's going to try to get it past Cran. Doesn't successfully do so as the ball's now in defensive third Wolves territory. Rose pops it up over Crazy Cat. Rose now looking to bring it across midfield stripe as a defender whiffs on a touch.
Crazy Cat hitting it towards the sidewall. Free Ink trying to find a way past, but he's not able to. Crazy Cat with a pass out mid. A bump onto the Wolves defender. Cran is not able to put a shot on in time, however, goes for the play off the sidewall, can't do it. It rolls up in front of the net. They need to have a striker in play, but they don't. The pass over to Rose will get past the midfield line. A shot from Free Ink, but blocked by essentially Boss, pushing it off into the corner. Both teams had an opportunity there for a second, but they couldn't make anything of it. Oh my goodness, almost a team flip reset pinch going in there, but they were stopped at the last moment.
Ball to midfield stripe, back defender for Stingrays comes forward, shoots it near the net, high left corner, Rose dunks it down to Free Ink. Crazy Cat plays it off to the backboard, but it's going to be Rose who stops it. Follow-up touches from both teammates. Neither one can get the reset, so Crazy Cat's just going to do a complete reset, bringing the ball into their own territory, plays it in front of their own net. Low risky, isn't punished. Pinch towards the ceiling by Rose does not result in the ball crossing midfield stripe just yet. Now, Crazy Cat has Cran for a give and go. They do just that to fake Rose out, but Rose reads it like a book and regains possession for a few moments.
Essentially Boss pushing it out mid. Not Six able to push past the midfield line. A shot from Rose. It's a little bit off, however. Cran is able to work all the way on his own to get it past the midfield line. Frank is able to match the pressure. It definitely feels like the Wolves, while they are behind in this last half of this game, have figured out how to keep some offensive pressure in the face of the Stingrays. It feels less like the Stingrays are commanding the field. But as I say that, they almost find a goal here, but the 50-50 will spill out at the last moment. Luckily, they don't necessarily need that goal, but it would have been nice.
There's 30 seconds, under 30 seconds, 20 now left on the clock, and there's a lot of accolades for the Stingrays, and there's a lot of shots on goal currently for the Wolves, and 4 saves all accredited to Rose. So they definitely have been trying to find their foothold. They're starting to get it, but they don't have enough purchase to just overcome that 4-goal gap with 6 seconds left on the clock. As for Ink, might be able to find one here for their team, and actually using one of the defenders, the Stingrays will actually be able to find 1 goal with 2 seconds left on the clock.
You know, it almost looked like Cran was trying to help here a little bit, because he's like, all right, we got it. Here's your goal. But I don't know. It's hard to tell. Maybe he was just a little bit awkward.
I think it was a little bit of an awkward angle.
You think?
Yeah, because, I mean, and even though this is a banned word, you can't, the laws of physics don't allow you to come to a complete stop with your momentum moving forward in midair. There's no friction going against you, so yes, you could do a bicycle kick, but it's not going to completely stop everything from going forward. So Cran attempted to do that, but at the end of the day, they still ended up going into the net just a little bit. Blasters game number 1 of an entire 7-game series. Wolves definitely showing that they are here to play, struggling to find a goal. They did find one at the end, which is a good sign. I mean, a 5-goal series, not that bad.
Nope, not at all.
So Wolves have an opportunity to bring this one back in their favor. Do you think there's anything that they need to try and do in this next game in order to actually, you know, start that momentum shift back towards them?
I feel like they don't need to overthink it too much. Like I said, I think that last half of that game was looking a lot more solid. I think whatever game plan or whatever warm-up or shift they needed that helped them in that last half, if they can just focus on that for the next one and then feel out what kind of needs to change, if anything, I think they're in a good spot, all things considered. Like I was kind of noticing to some extent that it felt like a lot of the shot putting from the Stingrays is getting shut down a lot more consistently in that last half. And I think playing around that defensive line is going to be important.
I agree with you. Definitely speaking from the perspective of having watched Rose in the first series and into the second series, they're a great defender, and when they have the opportunity to capitalize on a misplay from the offense and turn it into a goal-scoring opportunity, they do a great job, but trying to force those plays is kind of what shut them down here, and there was a great opportunity. All defenders had rotated too far forward. They took the shot. Unfortunately, the 4th man of the crossbar helped out the Stingrays a little bit more than Rose was hoping.
For Ink, going for the fake play, gets past one, has 2 more to beat, can't beat him, however. Pushes it towards the side wall. Not Sick will get demoed. Crazy Cat leading the way. Not quite able to do anything with it yet. Essentially, Boss gives him a little bit of space. Cran with the 50-50 will play it off the side wall. Can't get past Not Sick. They do bump him, so essentially Boss has to clear towards the back of the net, but Free Ink will clear it into the corner.
Ball gets spiked towards the ceiling, dunks down. As for Ink, pushes it to Rose, who's trying to play it off the wall, but the ball just has a little bit too much velocity. Goes in front of them, shot on goal from Not Sicko, saved by essentially Boss, who brings it across midfield stripe. Sails over as Free Ink, who also gets sent to the spawn by Crazy Cat. Shot on goal. It's going to be saved by Not Sicko.
Cran looking for the shot, the pass off the sidewall. Essentially, Boss keeps it in play. Rolling up the wall, gives an opportunity for Crazy Cats, gets the pass out made to Cran, who takes the shot into the far corner. The read off the sidewall, the pass down to Cran in the midfield. That is an excellent start for the Stingrays. The passing play on point, and Rose is just caught flat-footed, doesn't even have a visual angle on where that play is going.
The coaches actually say, and this is, I've never really heard this explanation given before when it comes to the Rocket League players, but apparently the Stingrays do a really good job of getting the other team frustrated with their playstyle, causing the other team to unravel over the course of the entire series. Right now, it looks like possibly that one free goal and this one too might start to tilt the Wolves, but at 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock, only down by 2. The Wolves can start bringing this back in their favor. It's just an unfortunate whiff there from As Free Inc. So essentially, Boss does manage to get that ball in the back of the net.
2-0 lead for the Stingrays. They're feeling comfortable. 3 minutes and 30 left. They have plenty of time to throw that lead, however. Rose leading the way downfield, trying to find that first exit for his team. Free Inc. just hits it away. Blocked by the Stingrays defense. Will push past the midfield line. He has 3 defenders to beat. He flicks over one. The demo on the second, but it'll miss. Free Inc. has to clear out. Demo on lots of demo attempts going on right now. Bumps all over the place, getting very physical in the gameplay. We'll have to see if that pans out for either team. Oh my goodness.
Just crossed the 3-second mark, and Joe is very right. There was a lot of physical play there. Ball takes just a gliding touch on the ceiling from Cran. They are not shaken at all. They find another goal, so Stingrays leading by 3 as they're almost into the second half here of game number 2. But as I mentioned earlier, even if the Wolves cannot find a foothold here, there is plenty of safety net left as this is a best-of-7 series, and I think both Joe and I anticipate the Esports Tower best of 3.
I don't know, honestly. I feel like we could break the norm today, but I wouldn't surprise me either. Nothing surprises me anymore with Esports Tower. It's just such a crazy group of talented kids. But right now, it definitely feels like the Stingrays have a commanding lead.
Is this it? Ah, dang it. Rose, unfortunately, was just flat-footed. Flow State pushes it up into the upper left-hand corner. That's a cross-map play from themselves. I mean, I want to say it was coast to coast, but I feel like that's only when you're flying through the air. Had that shot been blocked, everyone from the Stingrays was pushed forward. That would have been an opportunity for a breakaway for the Wolves. It's just they had so much faith in their opportunity to take that shot and make the goal. It did not shake them in their boots in any way. Rose looking to stop this ball from crossing midfield stripe. Pops it to Not Sicko. Not Sicko tries to get Flow State out of the way but can't. Essentially, Boss comes in. Free Inc. goes to set the play up. It does not take the angle necessary. Not Sicko still tries, but the ball gets saved by essentially Boss.
Not Sicko getting bumped into making the clear himself. Crazy Cat's looking for another solo play, can't do it. Boss pushing it towards the wall, beat by Rose. Cran has an opportunity here, plays it in front of his net. He gets demo. This is very scary, but his team helps it out of in front of the net. Flow State trying to get the pass out mid. It looks like Free Inc. actually bumped the other defender on his team. Almost another scary moment. Several scary moments in a row now for both teams, but a 4-0 lead for the Stingrays this late into the game. They've got to be feeling pretty confident going into game 3.
Cran looks to send the ball to Flow State. It's going to be Free Inc. grabbing it off the ground to themselves. They're going to send it to the backboard on the Stingrays net, but the clear comes from Cran, who has Flow State come in and tee off of them. That's a highlight reel moment for sure for both of them. That was pretty good. And I do believe that that also was a hat trick and our first one of this series going to Cran.
Yeah, they definitely pinched together on that play to find the back of the net. Kind of a risky gamble, but with proper communication, I could see it working. Clearly, it's working for them right now. They're definitely feeling it. They're going for these creative plays, but are they caught off guard here?
Not
they are
Sicko.
caught off guard. Just slightly outpaced the midfield line, and their team relied a little bit too much on the speed of Boss, but he's just not quite able to get there as fast as Sicko.
1 minute, 7 seconds on the clock. Wolves trailing by 4. Can they close this gap just a little bit? I'm not asking for 4 goals, not even asking for 3, but 2 would be lovely. That's 1 every 30 seconds. We've seen the Wolves do that before. They actually did it in Game 2 of their first series of the night. They just have to not let the Stingrays get in their heads. Rose looks for the misplay opportunity, takes the shot. Fortunately, it's too high. Another shot. It's going to be saved by Flow State from Not Sicko. Ball in the favorited corner of all the Esports Tower players.
Goodness.
Awkward ricochet. It kind of almost did a Hot Wheels move in that upper corner. Ball doesn't go in the net.
That ball definitely let it rip, but Cran is finding a way out. Maybe, oh.
No!
Rose is
Okay,
there.
Rose.
Okay, I was about to say, that would have been such a sad, barely missed the midfield line. But Free Ink not able to find the back of the net yet. Essentially, Boss leading the way with the help of Cran. Could be another shot here. No one placed mid. And they finally block Crazy Cats, and that will defuse the play. We'll be going to Game 3 with only 2 goals to the name of the Wolves.
Cran, you don't need another. Cran, you don't need another. Sicko, that's fine. Free Ink, that's fine. The rest of you, stop. So you know how I mentioned earlier that
Yes.
the Stingrays with their playstyle tend to really tilt the other team?
Yeah.
The coaches have been actually directly working with the Wolves, anticipating this rematch on just keeping their mentals and not allowing anything to tilt them. And that's a really important skill when it comes to any esports game that you play or competitive game in general, is learning how to not tilt and keep your mentals under control. Because if you tilt, it impacts not just your own gameplay, but it impacts the other people on the field. In this case, it's your 2 teammates in Rocket League, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to that as well. When you tilt, you get your playstyle just gets off. Sometimes you get a little toxic, and it's just never good for a team dynamic as a whole, right?
Yeah, definitely have to agree there. And like you were saying, controlling your mentality and your kind of control over your tilting is super important, even outside of Rocket League, even outside of other games, even outside of just this desk here.
It's a life skill.
It is a life skill, because at the end of the day, anything can tilt you. Anything can make you a little upset or get you just a little more aggravated than usual. And it's just important to work on your mentality. It's one of the hardest things to get down, but if you can get it down, you will be an unstoppable force if you combine it with incredible talent like some of these players.
In the words of some of the greatest esports players that I personally know, always have a positive mental attitude. But now we're going to roll into game number 3. Stingrays currently in the lead by 2. If they walk away with game 3 with a victory, they put themselves at series point in our best of 7. Could we break the Esports Tower tradition curse? Call it what you may, but going to an Esports Tower best of 3, regardless of how long a series is, essentially Boss is trying to tell us yes, finding first goal in 7 seconds.
Just not the clear. They wanted the bump on to Not Sick. Just doesn't give him the ability to get it out as fast as he wanted and then jump on it immediately from the Stingrays. Making sure that they are able to keep that pressure on, and that is, wow, okay. How did that even surface?
We'll see it in the replay.
Well, maybe we will. Who knows? Okay, here we go. Oh, it looks like Free Ink just barely messed up his first flip and ended up on the side of the ball, just resulting in a perfect pitch back into his own net. That is, you know, you've got 4 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock, so they have plenty of time. But in terms of keeping your mental intact, that is not how you want to start if you're the Wolves.
Yeah, that can be a little tilting. But, I mean, right now, they have the ball in the Stingray territory. It does drop down from the ceiling, and no one was there quite fast enough. Looks like Sicko tried to be there. Rose is kind of getting caught just in this defensive positioning a lot more than I think they want to be. But they do get the ball across midfield stripe, and they take out Flow State, which is huge. Not Sicko, drags the ball down. There's a demo onto the keeper, and they find the back of the net, popping it up over 1. You can see here, as Sicko comes down and lands, Free Ink comes through, takes out essentially Boss, and then Flow State cannot elevate fast enough to stop this ball from going in.
Definitely what you're looking for the Wolves. You're shutting down that early lead much sooner into these games, making sure that you're identifying yourself as an aggressive threat to the Stingrays, making them kind of think twice about all those crazy plays they've been going for in the last couple games now. Essentially, Boss, oh, is that just open?
To answer your question, we'll see it in the replay, and I think you might be right.
Looks like a slight bit of an overcommit, and actually, honestly, they had a guy back, but they just had all 3 players, no one defending the highway, everyone on the right side. Not
On the
able-
off-ramp.
Yeah. Just no one in the way. Everyone stuck to one side, just basically playing the same quadrant.
Ooh, I think there might have been a breakdown there as there was a collision between 2 of our Wolves players.
Oh.
Don't know what happened there, but essentially Boss is playing the ball. Oh, they're gonna... This is where you start to get punished.
Okay. All right. The play is reset now. Now we're all back to normal. Cran's trying to make it across the midfield line. He does. Not quite able to get in front of the net, so leaving it for Not Sick will get him past their midfield line. Has to get past one. Goes for the trick play and fakes out no one. Cran now playing past the midfield line. Rose is in the way. Has to look for a pass out mid. Gets it, but the shot from Boss is just too wide. A flat-footed Wolf defender would have meant that if that shot was on target, it was going in, but not quite able to make it happen. Free Ink just clearing it over to the other side, trying to give it back to a teammate, but the demo on the wall is going to open up space for Stingrays. Oh my goodness. The Stingrays just not letting up on defense right now. Oh my goodness, that's like 4 demos in 10 seconds on to the Wolves. They definitely have to be watching their backs from now on.
I need a ticker now.
I mean, we got the accolades on the side, but Not Six actually able to bring them back to only a 1-goal difference.
Just
not out of it yet at all.
Truly, I think that was a moment of just play your game to the Wolves.
Yeah.
Where it was like, you know, okay, you send back to the respawn. What do I need to do to get back in the play?
Yeah.
And they did that well. So hats off to the Wolves. They've closed this gap. We have half of game number 3 left here. Rose, unfortunately, gets demoed on the ground. So our defensive powerhouse right now for the Wolves is coming off respawn. They're back. The ball's in front of the net, but Rose cannot cut in fast enough. And that's a hat trick for Cran. Well, sorry, for essentially Boss, the assist from Cran. 2-goal gap. Half of game number 3 still there. I'm rounding it up. I'm taking the really bad scientific approach here.
There's just almost 0 defense on the Wolves' end right now.
It's
It feels
because
like
they're demoing the defense.
Well, there wasn't even a demo there. There was someone who respawned nearby, but what ended up happening is that the one defender they did have overcommitted for the play. Not Sicko's able to keep it out, but they've just got to communicate more and get a rotation going rather than relying on just one player. If you rely on that one player, the Stingrays, yeah, when they get that demo, everything's going to fall apart. But if you have a steady rotation going, it won't be the end of the world.
Putting too much pressure on one player can, you know, be the unfortunate downfall. And I do believe Stingray started to see that Rose is a defensive wall. They are doing a fantastic job when they're able to make that defensive play, but sending them to the respawn caught the Wolves off guard. They were not ready to have to adjust and play the defense when they normally have Rose to do that. And shot on goal is gonna hit the crossbar from Cran, sent to the midfield stripe. Essentially, Boss is just barely trailing in front of Rose, who tries to flick it past them, can't do it. Rose gets demoed by Cran. Free Ink takes the shot off a demo.
Oh my goodness.
And in the smoke, we find another goal here for the Wolves. Minute and 29 seconds on the clock. 1-goal differential between them and the Stingrays.
They're definitely in it, but they've got to start actually getting goals to their name outside of just the catch-up goals. I mean, they've been behind the entire game still, and I'd like to draw attention to the amount of demos
Flow state?
for Crazy Cat right now. He's at 10 now. 10 demos to his name, 0 other accolades.
I'm pretty sure that it is only demos. That
It
there's
is only
nothing
demos,
past that.
yeah. It's 11. He's at 11. Anyways, yeah, I don't know if this is something they talked about or if Crazy Cat just said, you know what I'm going to do this game?
Or
I am going to make this game a Wolves nightmare.
Or it's Nano in disguise. I don't know what's going on. That's disgusting. It's a play style I've talked about. I feel like I am the bad guy right now because I've suggested demo play style, but I only suggest it to a team that is struggling.
He's going for another one.
Good, and it was Olayed. I'm glad. I only suggest the demo play style if a team's trying to shake up the other team, and it's really as necessary, not
12.
off-cooled. Really? Is it 12?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
12.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these demos that he has gone for could be pretty impactful if his team had the resources to make something happen with it.
Hey, Rose finds the equalizer. That's what you get for doing nothing but demos.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But kind of a whiff from essentially Boss and Cran there, kind of creating the opportunity there. Maybe the reliance too much on the demo play and not playing all 3 men together is kind of going to be what faults the Stingrays here. I mean, they're definitely not out of it yet, but it looks like they left the ball again for maybe another fake kickoff. It just didn't go quite the direction they wanted. This adaptation playstyle from the Stingrays, though, I would say is maybe even a little unwarranted given how well the first 2 games went.
Like I said, the demo playstyle you pull out has, like, you know, your rally play, your gambit, and you don't bring it to the field at the start of game number 3 when you're already up 2 in the series.
Well, maybe that's why you bring it, because you're already up, you know? You have the confidence. Now you just need to single out the mentality of the game. Oh, that'll be game 3 for you. That was a wild. I feel like they take these shots all the time to the point where it almost has to be intentional, where they kind of bump into each other and they ricochet or they pinch it together and just like launch these lasers towards the back of the net.
Yeah, it's totally calculated.
It has to be. They've done it like, what, 5 times this series already?
I think
mean,
so.
Like, once, what's the phrase? Like, once is a coincidence, twice is whatever. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
There's a phrase. It's like a nursery rhyme.
Someone Google it for us.
Yeah, somebody do the smart thing. I can't.
Yeah, so now Stingrays are looking to win out this in a 4-0 sweep, which would be really unfortunate for the Wolves. But, I mean, that game number 3 was really close.
Yeah, it was really close, but even if you can't turn it around while they're essentially committing one whole player to demos, if you still can't find a way to win, you're in a scary position. I think at the end of the day, you kind of have to come into it just saying, hey, they could go for demos again. We're going to communicate. We're going to tell and say, hey, there's Crazy Cat. He's going this way. And whenever you're that third man, whenever you're not going for the ball, whenever you're just kind of waiting for your time to shine, it's important because you see the most of the field and say, hey, look, he's got you, man. You better run.
I actually think we're going to see maybe 1 or 2 demos from Flow State in this next game, and that's it.
You think? It's going to be silence?
I think they're pulling a page from one of our other Esports Tower players' book, and actually this is something that they do a lot as well, which is I'm going to be very heavy-handed with the demos in one game, and then next game I might do 1, maybe 2, but just the sheer terror that I have instilled in everyone on that team is going to get them out of my way no matter what.
It's the bluff, the ultimate bluff.
Because now it's the will they, won't they play.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, thank goodness. I was going to say, we're doing a third one of those today. But no, we are not. It feels like kickoffs have been very rarely 50-50s in these games. A lot of back and forth super early on in either direction. Free Ink not able to make contact quite yet. Not 6, pushing into the corner. Has a shot blocked by Flow State. Oh, almost shoots it back in off of the clear from Crazy Cat. Now Cran leaving it for essentially Boss. A demo on the clear. Looks like they might be responding with a little bit of their own violence, dare I say. The Wolves actually, I feel like this is the first time they're leading in the entire series right now, right?
Yes. And I'll take it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, definitely took a page out of the Wolves book for that one, or the Stingrays book for that one, finding a demo play.
Do it again now is my request, as we have 4 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. Free Ink's going to be the one demoed by Cran. So there's 1. Now let's see if my prediction's right. Will Cran go for another? Maybe. And then chill out from there on out? We'll have to see. Sorry. Will Flow State find 1 more and then stop, as we have the equalizer come out from the Stingrays. You can see Boss just tail flick. Crossbar, Cran goes into the net. So Cran and Flow State both have a demo to their name. Free Ink and Rose as well. I'm going to be watching those accolades if they're just demolitions from here on out for Flow State.
50-50, plays it off into the corner. Rose has to get a pass out mid. He does get it. The pass over to Not Sick, and they will find the back of the net. They're leading 1 goal at a time against the Stingrays. They figured it out. Something needs to change for the Stingrays. It feels like the Wolves are all over them right now. They did commit 3 players to that, so if it didn't work, it would have been really scary, really fast for the Wolves, but something has to change. The Wolves have offense online.
1 minute tick down off the clock. So far, Wolves in the lead by 1, but they are not in a security position by any means, especially this early on. Leading by 2 doesn't amount to a whole lot off the demo.
Oh.
Ball does.
Okay.
I'm going to still account that to the demo play because the 3rd rotation couldn't happen.
It should have gone in the first time. There was no one in net. The shot just got a little bit robbed by that faded fourth man, as we've brought up so many times. But yeah, we're back to a 0-0 scoreline. This is definitely the closest game we've had between these two teams all the way in Game 4. The Wolves are fighting to stay alive in this Grand Finals, but will it be enough?
Well, the next 3 minutes and 35 seconds will tell us. Rose playing the ball off their back wall.
Oh my goodness, what?
I
There were 4 players
don't know
up
what
for that.
just happened. I really don't.
Is it? What? What is going on? This is the scrappiest, most absurd game I've seen. What? Okay. I don't know. We can move on. We can just, you know, file that one away for the...
I'm going to. I didn't even look.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm glad it's gone. All right. This next play, Cran into the corner, over to his teammate. The pinch play, past Free Ink, actually. Cran is able to pass it up mid. Rose is in the way into the corner. Have to kind of wait out the play now, however. Essentially, Boss has a shot. What is going on? A Wolf defender was just sitting on the big boost pad.
I did see Rose themselves do that in the previous game and just make sure that they got the boost, but Not Sicko was at almost full boost, so I don't know what happened.
That was terrible because the other defender got demoed, but he got demoed all the way by the midfield boost. No one was anywhere near their net. Rose not making contact here. Cran with a 50-50. Roll into the corner. Could be another opportunity here. No shot yet. It'll just roll past the net. Scary situation for the Wolves. The 50-50 now towards the corner. Cran, they're feeling it a little bit more now, essentially, Boss.
Okay, we have just about half this game left. Stingrays in the lead by 2. Not Sicko gets a save, pushes it to midfield stripe, has to get it past Cran. Hopefully there's a recognition of pressure. There was. Rose threads the needle, finds the third goal. 2 minutes, 27 seconds on the clock, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel right now. There's a glimmer of hope for the Wolves. Let's see if they can actually turn this around in their favor in the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. What? I don't.
I need the replay.
Just no contact. Okay. Well, kickoffs have been weird, and we've already discussed that. So we're back to the 0-0 scoreline. They actually decided beforehand that they wanted this game to be only half a length, so they're trying to put each other at 0-0 going to half the game left.
Maybe?
That's probably what it is. Oh, what in the world? Are they actually going to be able to do it? No, okay. I was going to say that was probably one of the craziest downfield clears I've seen. Cran playing it off in the corner. A demo from Crazy Cats. Rose just trying to find a way past essentially Boss. He can't do it. Crazy Cat's already out there looking for blood, but he doesn't make contact with anyone really. And the shot barely blocked by Not Sick.
Yeah, Crazy Cat has 5 demos so far, and we're about halfway through. Cran just found goal number 5. We have 109 seconds left on the clock. I really don't know what's going to happen from here on out.
Complete toss-up. I couldn't tell you.
I'm saying this jokingly, but is Mercury in retrograde right now or something?
The 50-50
I don't know what that means. Let the record show.
Well, neither do I. The phrase is funny. Crazy Cat with flip reset, not quite able to get past anyone. Free Ink now going for his own solo play off the ceiling. Can't do anything else with it. 50-50 on the Rose. Crazy Cat bumped Free Ink with the pass. A shot. There's a Stingray defender in the midfield.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced that you are right. I think they wanted to bring this down to the last 60 seconds and actually play.
All right. Well, I don't know. Stuff's happening, and it is also happening. So.
It is weird.
Yep.
I really don't know what's going on anymore. And this is supposed to be my job. I'm sorry.
Shot down from Crazy Cats. The response from Essentially Boss, and the fourth man will be the one to dunk it down. Stingrays have their lead now that they need in the last minute, but, you know, who knows if they'll hold on to it at this point.
They need another goal.
Yeah, either.
before the Wolves get another goal.
Yep, exactly. But they had a 2-goal lead at one point, too. Both teams have had a 2-goal lead, haven't
Oh,
they?
yeah, you're right.
Or no.
Yeah.
The Wolves haven't had a 2-goal.
The Wolves did.
Oh, they
wait.
did? Oh,
Did they?
I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
Everyone, this game has been craziness. It's just been wild. And the funniest part is that they might actually be fighting for their lives, and it might just look crazy to us, but it might be the sweatiest comms ever if we had comms. And
That
we could
is
listen to it.
true.
And this might be dead serious for them, just the fight for their lives in this fate-deciding grand finals,
Is
clearly.
this the rawest form of Rocket League for Esports Tower? Is just pure chaos. But in all actuality, this is both teams, no holds barred, doing everything they possibly can to stay alive, especially for the Wolves. Stingrays are at series point as we tick down into the last 30 seconds. They're trailing by 1 goal. In game number 3, we went into overtime. Right now, the Wolves are looking to do that again, but they need to make sure that they find the golden goal to send us into another game. Otherwise, they walk away, and it's a 4-0
Oh my
sweep for the
goodness.
Stingrays. They do manage to find the equalizer with 17 seconds left on the clock. The question is, who's going to find the next goal? Will there be a next goal before we go to the 0 time left on the clock?
I am so lost in whatever the Rocket League sauce is right now. 12-goal game.
I'm here for it.
6 goal. We went from, what, 3 goals to the name of the Wolves to 6?
All-
Well, plus 6 to 9.
Firing on all cylinders. That is all. That is the best pun I can come up with in regards to cars for the Wolves right now. Just ground the ball and go into OT. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I can't. Somebody end this game. Just need a mental I think everyone needs a mental reset here. Their pass essentially,
argument.
boss. It's in the corner. Crazy Cat has a way out. Tapped against the sidewall. Freeing has a response. The shot from Cran. It's almost on. Saved at the last minute. Oh my goodness. Essentially, boss bumps Cran back, gives him a little bit of a boost, has the response. The pass out mid is over Rose. So Crazy Cat can hit it to the wall. Cran can respond, or Crazy Cat. Crazy Cat's got it. He goes for the pass, doesn't get it. Not sick. Playing it down. Essentially, boss takes the shot towards the back wall. It's not in. Crazy Cat with the response, with the tap down. It'll clear out to the corner. Cran hits it up. Has a response set up for Crazy Cat, but it'll be blocked by a heroic fall from Rose and will sit in the net just a little bit longer. Finally, they'll break past the midfield line, but can they even get past the defense? Crazy Cat is up. He'll push it towards the sidewall. The play will diffuse all together.
Not Sicko manages to get the ball to midfield stripe and get it back after one of the defenders from the Stingrays got a touch on it. They try to go for the reset. Rose comes forward from the back third in Wolves territory at the midfield. Not Sicko tries to get the ball away from Flow State, whiffs on it once. Rose at midfield stripe has 2 collide onto them. They're looking for an opportunity. It's going to be Asfree Inc. who whiffs on just even disruption there, and they're outplayed, but finally a defender from the Wolves gets a touch on it. Not Sicko pops it up over Cran. It's pinched up towards the ceiling from Flow State. Rose goes for the challenge, has nothing but the opportunity to just slow that ball down. Ball at midfield stripe. There's a pass to Asfree Inc., but it ends up with Flow State instead.
50-50 off the sidewall. 50-50 in the midfield. Will spill out to the Stingrays. Defensive corner could be an opportunity here. The shot is good. The Wolves will take their first game in the series after a 2-minute overtime. That might be all they need to try to throw around a complete reverse sweep here. Might be all the positive momentum they need. We'll have to see going into a game 5 now. After that last game, I mean, the amount of energy that was expelled in that last game, I really thought it was going to be the last one. Like, I thought, like, mentally, you know, I was like, oh, this is the last one because, like, this is crazy, you know. That might as well have been game 7 for me. But clearly, there's more Rocket League left in store in this series.
I don't really have words for what I just watched. I think my brain was just trying to actually fathom what was occurring.
Yeah.
The Wolves seemed like a completely different team, which is very good.
Yes.
I need them to bring that same type of energy into the next game because they have no safety nets left. They're hanging by a thread. Right now, Stingrays are still at series point, and that is a scary situation to be in. They fought so hard to come out of that game leading by 1, 7-6. That's a lot of goals. It's a lot of expelled energy from both teams. Are the Stingrays tired? Are the Wolves tired? Is this the start of things going in favor of the Wolves? Will we go to a best of 3? Or will things end here and now with the Stingrays walking away with a 4th game win, but not a 4-0 sweep, as the Wolves did knock away 1 game thus far? We'll have to wait and see. The next 5-ish minutes, maybe plus a minute, will tell.
Bang upfield. Oh, it bounces off the crossbar, and Not Sick will lead the way. The Wolves, for the 2nd time in the series, starting out the gate strong. Crazy Cat just not quite able to make contact. Feels like all those demos that Crazy Cat got earlier are coming back to haunt him, as now the Wolves have come out completely unhinged.
I want to point out that Rose has made a huge adjustment. They did that play previously in, I think, 2nd or 1st game here in this series. And the mistake was that just only relying on Rose to come from the back line and elevate and go forward. They were not prepared for the aerial challenges coming out from the Stingrays. Now they're prepared. They either have someone else going up right up from the midfield to meet Rose in the air, or there's someone down by the goal line in Stingray territory to finish out that play when Rose has to do a give and go from mid-flight. And that's huge to make that adjustment in the middle of a game series.
Pushing downfield, Wolves have a 2-0 lead in this series. or I mean in the game. With about 4 minutes left.
Let the record show this is the Wolves' first 2-goal lead.
Yep, this is the first time that they've had that security goal. They have to be feeling really confident, especially after that hard-fought win in the last one. The Stingrays need to get whatever play style they had going for them last time back on tap. Otherwise, the Wolves have enough positive momentum to push this whole series in the opposite direction.
Not Sicko leaves the ball for Rose. It glides in the corner. Gosh, sometimes those rounded edges are just a little weird for my brain to think about. As for Ink, has the ball hit the ceiling? It dies down. Not Sicko doesn't have follow-up, as they have no boost either, so they have no choice but to leave the double commit from the defense from the Stingrays to bring the ball across midfield stripe, and Rose going back into that back post position.
Oh, a couple whiffs from both teams. Oh, and a shot from the midfield line. It's good. A 3-0 lead for the Wolves. Now, this is a complete shakeup. It's almost like we crossed the mid-series line with that last game, and now we're seeing a complete mirrored opposite end of this series. The Wolves now leading the Stingrays along with a 3-0 lead. Stingrays need to make a change, whatever it is, even if it means putting Crazy Cat back on demo duty. Do whatever you can to win this game, because you only need one more. You have to play it like it's game 1, though.
I agree with you on playing it like it's game 1, and I say that only because in a best-of-7 series, if we do end up having the reverse sweep really begin here for the Wolves, as they're leading by 3 right now in game number 5, and they put themselves, you know, with the 2 wins in a best-of-7 series, and then the 3 wins. That is still 15 minutes total that your team was playing that they could have closed out and not had to have played.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary situation. We'll have to see if there's any adjustments to be made at all, if the Stingers are just completely lost of their own energy now. It's interesting because, like you said in the, from the interviews, the Stingrays kind of became that team that wear you out. Right, and it kind of feels like that they're being the team that's being worn out the most right now. Another shot, and it'll just go in. There's no response from Stingray's defense. Either they're out of boost or they're just too slow. And a great pass down here from Not Sick. Almost takes the shot himself, but Rose is just fast enough to be there first.
I mean, this could be the war of attrition. The Stingrays are letting the Wolves tire themselves out after working so hard in the previous game. Are going to let them tire themselves out more here in this game to get them up 2 in the series. And then the next one, the Stingrays are going to come in full force. But, I don't know, right now, it seems like a lot of, in the words of Fish, misplays are happening right now for the Stingrays.
Crazy Cat leading off the wall, has a pass to a teammate, hits it towards the back wall. Oh, it almost goes in on its own. Another shot, and it'll be in. Stingrays will break into the back of the net for the first time in this game. Not out of it yet. That shot almost went all the way in, but a good response there from essentially Boss. will find the hole, the chink in the armor, and they will only be 3 goals away from tying it off now.
Roughly 2 minutes left on the clock. I think that's a goal roughly every 40 seconds, I think. I could be wrong. My math is bad.
There's plenty of time, all things considered. But it is quite the work they have ahead of them. They need an adjustment in order to get that many goals and that close to a segment. Right now, it just feels like they don't have control over the game. Maybe they are trying to wear out the Wolves, make them play a little bit too excitedly here, but regardless, you're giving them a lot of positive momentum going into Game 6.
And Rose, after the defender was pushed out of position, that's goal number 5 for the Wolves as they lead by 4 now. Minute and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. 80 seconds. That is a goal every 20 seconds. Half the time that they had earlier when I made my last calculation that I think was correct.
Cran with the first response is able to get past the midfield line, goes for another play. The air dribble past one, high up in the air. No response from Crazy Cats. Rose can push past the midfield line, looks for the solo play. Does get past one, doesn't have another shot, but Cran will get the clear and the double tap. Push past the midfield line. They have to find another, oh my goodness, they have to find another goal here. Right now, they're out of time completely. Oh, the shot towards the back of the net, saved by Cran at the last moment.
Double commit on disruption for Asfree Inc. to prevent them from finding the follow-up touch to reset the play was completely whiffed on. Neither defender made contact. Neither defender did anything to Asfree Inc. Ball is dwindling back here in Stingray territory. Finally, Cran's going to bring it forward, but drops it down right by Asfree Inc. I think possibly it was intended for Cran. Asfree Inc. going to bring it across, send it to the other wall. Free Inc. gets demoed by Cran. Ball is right in front of the Stingray goal. Gets cleared to the side as Rose tries to go to make contact with defender, but cannot find anything. As Free Inc. off of respawn, send it to Not Sicko at midfield. Ball volleyed right back to that stripe.
Rolls out mid. Oh, and Free Inc. is just there to respond. Okay, with 10 seconds left on the clock, I think it's fair to call this game
Yes.
from a caster's point of view. So, going into Game 6 now, Stingrays, you had control of almost the entirety of this series so far, and now it suddenly feels like it's fallen apart. What is your advice, you think, to the Stingrays going into Game 6?
I think they this is not to be mean, but it's going to sound a little mean. Your ego's got the best of you. You got big-headed, and then when your egos got popped, you started playing like you were bronze.
Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, yeah, it's hard to necessarily point it all towards ego when we don't necessarily know what's going on with comms
yes,
either.
it could be a strategic play.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, we don't know. It's like a 90-10 kind of thing, you know? But at the end of the day, yeah, I think I have to agree. You kind of have to, like, circle back around, make sure, like I said several times already today, you need to have a positive mental and confidence that doesn't come from just being better than the other team. You need to be confident in your teammates and confident in yourself, no matter who's across the pitch from you. And it just doesn't, whatever you do, make sure that it's focused on yourself primarily.
The thing that I typically give as advice is always be ready to lose, and lose with dignity is the biggest thing. And going into a game, not expecting it to go in your favor, or you always hope for the best, but anticipate the worst and prepare for the worst. And so going in, doing everything you can to prepare, and even if you don't walk away with the win and you walk away with the loss, you lose with dignity so that you aren't caught off tilt by losing the first round, losing the second round. You just keep going and trying your hardest.
Yep, definitely have to agree with that there. But now, going into Game 6, we will have either the Stingrays secure their victory, or they give the Wolves an opportunity to do an unimaginable reverse sweep after getting thoroughly ruined in the first 3 games.
A quick give and go from Rose to Asfree Inc. There's that communication the coaches were talking about from the first series. Not Sicko looking to play it over their own net. A little bit risky had anyone gone for the disruption play, but no one did. Cran tries to volley it into the defensive third for Wolves, but is unsuccessful. Rose takes a shot. It's way too high. Saved by Cran as well. Not Sicko goes for an opportunity to set up another play for Asfree Inc., but it's thwarted as ball sent to midfield stripe.
Not Sicko gets the play downfield, gets past one, but Crazy Cat is able to get the clear out. Freink playing it off into the corner, has to get a good clear here. He just can barely after taking it all the way across the net. A response from essentially Boss will keep the pressure on. And they have to take the shot. He takes the shot all on his own. Amazing shot, blocked at the last moment. Wolves defense is there and in the way. A good rotation. Now Cran has a shot opportunity. He taps it up, leaves it for Crazy Cat, who goes for the fake play and will sneak it underneath. Stingrays, after going 2 games without starting the goal differential here, they finally do it. They've got a lead going on now. They're feeling good. Just have to close it out now and hold that lead.
That goal did take over a minute to find, though, which I think is the longest we've gone in this series without seeing a goal in the beginning. Off kickoff, Flow State's going to get demoed. Rose plays the ball off the wall to themselves. Looks like they're trying to flick it over to a teammate. That one didn't grab it, so as for Inkwell, they demo essentially Boss. Ball dunks down off the ceiling. Rose pushes it forward, sends it to not Sicko, sends it to the upper left corner. The give and go. Defender could not make contact, and that finds the first goal for the Wolves.
No response. They leave the backboard completely undefended, and the Wolves pounce on that immediately. Now we're back to that 0-0. It's complicated with 3 minutes and 30 left on the clock. Flow State will actually win out the kickoff. Free Ink taps it up to Rose, who hits it down towards the net from the ceiling. A clear from Crazy Cat will be a sigh of relief for the Stingrays for a moment.
Essentially, Boss shoots the ball to the back wall. Flow State looks for an opportunity to push the ball into the top corner. It's going to be saved and set down to midfield stripe. Flow State pops it up to Cran. They're going to play it off the back wall, look for the double touch. They find it, but a pinch between 2 defenders unfortunately results in a goal. You'll see that here in the replay. We have Cran come in, and Rose goes for the aerial disruption, but as Free Ink off the ground, tries to cross in front of the net and ends up off the save from Rose, sending the ball into the net themselves. That's okay. You're only down by 1 with 3 minutes on the clock. Opportunity still alive here for the Wolves, with the Stingrays looking for that second goal as we get into that past the halfway point here of game number 6.
You just have to keep that positive mental going at all costs. Can't let anything like those weird pinches get to you. Wolves pushing back downfield. They need one more to stay alive. A bump on the Cran will not prevent him from getting past the midfield line, but they have a little bit of time. Rose playing it into the corner. Flow State gets past one, blocked by Not Sicko. It hit towards the midfield line, just kind of hanging out there. Cran will take the hit towards the backboard. A response from Rose will put it to the corner. Doesn't have to do a whole lot with it, just has to slow down the play, and he does. A shot from Cran here onto the backboard, but no response from the Stingrays, meaning that the play will diffuse into the corner.
Rose plays it off the wall, tries to send it to midfield stripe. As Free Ink responds, it's going to be pushed right back by Cran. Rose will elevate, looking to pull it forward. Has some pressure put on them by 2 members, and the ball's stolen away by Cran. Flow State intentionally does a pass back, taking the ball away from a teammate, I think. But Sicko and Rose with a beautiful give and go. Sorry, as Free Ink and Sicko from just past midfield stripe. You can see Free Ink here from the Wolves territory. Sends it to Not Sicko. The rotations weren't fast enough. Ball goes into the back of the net, and we are tied to a side. 109 seconds left on the clock.
Not quite quality contact there for the Stingrays. Cran trying to lead the pack here. Free Ink on the wall will be able to respond. Now, Crazy Cat playing it towards the corner. Can get past one. 50-50 out to essentially Boss. Plays it underneath. Not Sick. A great opportunity. A demo opportunity here for Flow State, but he doesn't make contact. No demos today, but Cran's not able to make it work either. So it'll cross the midfield line, and the Wolves have a chance for an offensive play here if they can get past Boss.
Rose challenged by Flow State. Not Sicko comes in to help out. Free Ink pops the ball up. It crosses midfield stripe. They elevate, carry it into the corner. Disrupted by Flow State. Dunks the ball and volleys it into the back corner in Wolves territory. Bringing it in front of their own net was Rose to make a reset play. Very risky, but did not get capitalized on by the Stingrays. Ball sent back. Rose rotating to back post. Grabs the ball. Looks for an opportunity to send it to midfield stripe. Can't find it. Instead, it's going to be the Stingrays who maintain control of this ball as we have 40 seconds left on the clock and at a 0-0 scoreline. Basically, we do have 2 on each side.
Shot from Cran. It's not in yet. It's going to bounce high and up. A safe spot for the moment for the Wolves. playing it off to the corner. Cran looks for the shot, can't get it. A tap in front of the net. Flow State has a shot and he gets it. Crazy Cat finding a crucial third goal for the Stingrays with 30 seconds left on the clock-ish. The Wolves have a task ahead of them now. They need one more or they will be going home from this grand finals without any accolades to their name.
Hey, technically speaking, they get the accolade of second place. Never
True.
let positional bias rule the day. You still earned a spot in the championship. You still get a title. It's just not the highest one, but you worked hard nonetheless and deserve to celebrate that regardless of where you finish out at that point. We have an opportunity from Rose to not Sicko, but the defense double committed on Bolt just to make a defensive force wall, and ball is going to get sent back into Wolves territory. No time left on the clock. This point, ball needs to stay in the air if you are a Wolves fan and wanting them to succeed, but it gets dunked down by the offense, and with that, Stingrays walk away with a 4-2 victory in this best-of-7 series. And if you want the opportunity to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you need to join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. The Stingrays survive the Wolves. I mean, I really am going to say just barely because there were two games that were just way too close. And, well, actually, one game that was too close, and then one game that felt like they almost sold it again and just gave it to the Wolves.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Wolves did a fantastic job. They maintained, I believe at least, positive mental attitudes throughout the entire course of the series. And they still walk away with the second place title for this Rumble.
Yep.
Next time, they might walk away with the championship. But for now, Stingrays are our champions. But that's not the end of our night. We have a show match that we will close out with. But before we do that, we are actually going to take a quick break. So don't go anywhere. And we'll be back here with some more Rocket League.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
It's me, your Idaho Central Credit Union app. Rough morning. Is that a mobile deposit? I got this. Beat it, Charlie. We're making money moves here. Cha-ching. And done.
Charlie, come on, outside.
Sorry about the mess. I'd help if I had hands. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything. There are things we do for each other. Not because we're told. Not because someone asked. just because we're in this together. And it's the nice thing to do. Idaho Central Credit Union. Giving back is what membership is all about.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. The Stingrays are our Rumble champions, but before we end the night, we have a show match between the Vipers and the Penguins. I'm still your host, Artie Rain, joined on desk by Joe Chigbrow. So just some insider info for you. Vipers had the captain of Jockstrot, and Jocks made this team with the intention of making a supreme, aggressive, just space denial and fast tempo team, whereas Freelink, who was the captain for the Penguins, actually built their squad to be very balanced to match the aggression of the Vipers. I'm not positive if trying to match aggression versus setting your own playstyle is the best thing to do. What do you personally think?
I think the aggression strategy has proven time and time again to be successful in higher level Rocket League. However, it needs to come with the asterisk at the end of it that says you're not throwing away defense at the same time. You need to not have the best defense, but you need to have someone back. You can't be committing 3 players to these lengthy, aggressive plays that won't work out like 90% of the time. Part of being fast and aggressive is also setting yourself up to be fast and aggressive. So I think if executed correctly, that setting the tone more with your own playstyle and making them play to your outs is a little bit probably more meta.
All right, well, I guess that asterisk comes with the whole, in parentheses, metered aggression. But before we jump into our last best of 3, we have Doc's Keys to the Game presented to you today by Esports Tower, which are create mistakes, punish the overcommits, and play the walls better, and demo to disrupt. Doc's Keys are presented by esportstower.com, where you can score pro advice, level up your teaming skills at esportstower.com. We are going to jump into our final show match of the evening. So best of luck between Jocks and the Jockstrot's Vipers and Freelink's Penguins. I'm interested. I want this to go toe-to-toe, but perchance one play style is better than the rest. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, so on the side of Free Inc., or the Penguins, we have Free Inc., Llama Comp, and then Scythe, who I have not seen before, I don't think. And then playing on the Vipers end, we have Be Happy 2004, High Ice, and Jockstrot.
So I know Jocks. I think we've seen Be Happy. High Ice, not positive about. As Free Inc., of course, we've seen them before. Scythe KJS might be KJ, who we've seen. We've seen Llama Comp as well. So probably an equal match of newer or amateur Esports Tower players and the more well-known ones. With that being said, we're almost down to the first minute elapsing, and as I'm saying that, Jocks at the 42-second mark finds the first goal for the Vipers.
Yeah, right off the bat, Vipers leading here. Have that aggression playing to their side a little bit more. Scythe trying to find a way in. Be Happy ends up just missing entirely. High Ice with the clear. Means we'll play a little bit at the defensive line right now for the Vipers. Blocked by Llama Comp. Free Inc. able to hit it downfield, but Jockstrap plays it up a little high.
Challenged by Scythe, who pushes it down into defensive third for the side of the Penguins. High Ice now looking for an opportunity. Bring it across midfield stripe. Can't find it. Vipers do still maintain possession, though. Jockstrot sends the ball into the corner.
Midfield tap. Llama Comp with the response. Has to get past one. He does. Rolls up the sidewall here. Scythe playing it down. Pass over to a teammate. Free Inc. is not quite there in time. Have to play it a little slower. Falls down. Scythe hitting it towards the wall. Jockstrot has opportunities here. He can go for the solo play, but he ends up getting the 50-50 instead. Now Be Happy slow playing it to 50 to the midfield. Pass over to high ice is definitely the right idea.
Pops it up over one. Free Ink can't get back in the play. Lamacomp chooses to just demo one of the Vipers players as we have Be Happy elevate at midfield stripe. I think they collided with Scythe from the Penguins. Still, one goal, and that only goal is to the Vipers. And as I say that, I need to just stop talking about goals until they happen. That's goal number 2 for the Vipers. 2 minutes, 53 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Be Happy just did the classic, I'm not quite entirely sure where the back post is thing, and he drove up the corner of the wall and just kind of confused himself there for a minute. That literally, as I'm saying that, we have the Vipers finding a third now against the Penguins here. This aggressive play style paying off.
Off kickoff, Jocks is going to be the one to grab it. Does take a tap off the ceiling. High Ice tries to regain possession. Can't. Llama slows down, flicks it forward. It's pinched towards the crossbar by Jocks. As Free Ink from the wall, pushed it across midfield stripe. It just barely kisses the back wall. Be Happy looks for an opportunity for a challenge. Can't find it. Jocks rotating to back post. Now Scythe pushing forward, has an opportunity, can't find it. Ball sent across midfield stripe. Elevation from Free Ink is an unfortunate whiff, and that's a goal for Jocks.
Be Happy leading the play, almost finds the back net immediately, but Lamacomp is barely there off of a miss at the midfield line on the kickoff. Scythe can pass over, he does, he gets it over to Free Ink, actually gets cut off instead. Be Happy trying to find a way past the midfield line, only blocked by Free Ink. Now Jockstrut tries to play past one, can't do it. High Ice off the wall, a demo from Jockstrut, maybe an opportunity for High Ice, but he just can't quite get past even with the help of the demo.
Off the backboard, we have a double touch from Jocks. No goals scored. Llama tries to cut in. Ball barely not saved by Free Ink, and that's another goal for Jocks.
Jockstrut playing it slow. Kind of just playing off the wall right now, looking to create plays rather than force them. It kind of feels like what Jockstrut and his aggressive squad have chosen to go with, waiting on opportunities to snipe aggressive, I would say, shot putting, making sure they're hitting the top corner over and over again.
I do think, though, it was a little bit misguided for them to say that they're just playing on the aggressive because, as you said, they are looking for the opportunities to be aggressive. They're not just shoehorning them in at every opportunity. They're letting the Penguins make mistakes, such as Doc's keys to the game, which are brought to us by Esports Tower, and punishing those mistakes that they are creating.
Definitely have to see if there's an adjustment that needs to be made for the Penguins going into Game 2 now. I'd say this game is pretty much locked up. I mean, it's definitely possible, but not enough has changed for me to necessarily, and yeah, there you go. Another one for the Vipers now. So going into Game 2, Penguins kind of have to think about, with this playstyle that the Vipers have, and how they're not really forcing anything, that maybe you just want to focus on tightening up that defense and not really giving them any opportunities. If you don't give them opportunities, then their entire strategy is going to fall apart pretty fast.
There's a lot of slowing down from the Penguins here in their own territory. Perhaps that's the mistake they're making, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's up to the coaches to help rectify that. They have 4 seconds left. I don't foresee any goals being scored for the Penguins. Time is completely depleted. Ball hits the ground, and that's a first of the best of 3 series going in favor of the Vipers. And I do believe, because this is a show match, it's not really a best of 3. It is just 3 games. So apologies if that creates confusion. We'll have to wait and see how this next game goes. Penguins really need to set the playstyle for themselves.
Yeah.
And that playstyle obviously cannot just be, I'm going to touch the ball and stop moving and then start moving again. You don't have enough time for yourself to do that. You need to acclimate to being under pressure and having someone coming and aggressing onto you in those situations. So you need to calculate and anticipate what you want to do rather than in the moment figuring it out.
Yeah, and there's definitely a window in Rocket League for playing a more defensive end, also commanding the way that you play the game, but that requires that you play a really tight defensive line. You can't let anything pass. And if you're capable of that, then eventually the more aggressive team is going to wear themselves out. They're going to run out of boosts. They're going to misplay. They're going to commit too many players to an offensive initiative where they're just not going to have any reason to do that. And you'll punish it from there. But it's going to come down to really tightening up that defense if this is what they're going for.
All right, Penguins, it's up to you to set the play style. Do not, and you know, we said this at the beginning, responding to the aggressive play style seemed like not the way you wanted to go from the get-go. Responding is not what you need to be doing. You need to be taking away those aggressive opportunities instead. We'll have to see if the Penguins are able to rectify the situation going into game number 2. Ball is inside Viper territory, and we have Scythe try to set something up, but unfortunately they can't find anything. Lamacomp cuts in, steals the ball away, but he immediately sends it to Jox as they kind of just pushed the ball and volleyed it down the other end without intention and purpose.
Big clear downfield here. Could create an opportunity. Jockstrot has a way past one. Kind of a slow play at the midfield line for both teams, and they're finally able to do it. The Penguins see an opportunity, and it's too slow of a play from the Vipers, and they just pounce on in, find the back of the net rather quickly.
Jox did some really awkward movement, I'll be honest, and I think that opened up the opportunity for the Penguins, but they're all huddling together for warmth right now on their goal line. Please, this isn't the Arctic. You can spread out and claim space, and Lamacomp finally finds the opportunity, bring it into the corner. But the response comes from high ice almost immediately. Ball sent to midfield stripe. Free Ink trying to rectify this opportunity for their team. They find a second goal for the Penguins.
The Penguins leading the way right now. 2 goals to their name. A complete shift from what we saw last game. Maybe a third.
Woo! Pretty.
Kind of all over the place. The Penguins not even necessarily playing wholly defensive or aggressive right now. It just feels like the Vipers are handing them a lot of opportunities on a silver platter. We'll have to see if anything changes then for the Vipers. There's still plenty of time left in this game. But their offensive strategy is just is definitely not working right now. They're down 4 goals now.
I think this comes down to, like, yes, being in a 4-goal lead is great. But the question is, where in the timeline is that happening? And it's happening very early. It sets the bar of getting 4 goals now for the Vipers. This could just end up being a very high-scoring game. Yeah, 4-goal gap is hard to surmount, but when we see these heavy leads by teams that tend to be very equally matched or just kind of a reversal of what we saw earlier, the opposite tends to start coming true after another minute or so. But Lamacomp finds goal number 5. 3 minutes, 22 seconds on the clock. I don't know what happened to the Vipers. I think maybe the caffeine's run out after game number 1.
Maybe, but both these games have seemed kind of slow, all things considered. So it might honestly even be that the Penguins just started to round things off a little bit more.
Did they wake up finally?
Maybe.
I don't think Penguins hibernate, but they woke up.
The shot from high ice, a little bit too high, fitting of the name, Be Happy. Goes for the low shot, doesn't find the way in there either. Now for Ink. Gets the clear across the field, but Scythe on the 50-50 with Jockstrot will just lose the midfield line. And now they have to reset completely.
We are almost to the halfway point, and Llama just almost circumvented the entire defense from the Vipers and got another goal for themselves. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock, and ball spending a lot of time in Vipers territory. There doesn't seem to be, and I apologize, Doc, if you are listening, a lot of aggression coming out from either side. As you said, it seems very slow. I really don't know what's going on, but the Penguins found the secret sauce instead of being lost in it and are working with it.
Yep, they're definitely very comfortable in their position right now, almost finding a 6th goal to their name. 2 minutes left on this clock. Kind of playing it slow. Yeah, it just feels like both teams aren't necessarily not sure of themselves. They're just kind of not necessarily sure of who they're playing against.
Wait, what? That was actually beautiful.
It was a good passing play.
I think Jox recognized when he hit kind of like almost the midfield stripe, he was like, I don't have enough boost for this. And just gave it to their teammate, recognizing there was no defenders there, and they just shot it in.
Definitely could have been the case. Oh, they find another one. maybe a mounting comeback here now. We see one of those comebacks we have to calculate in our head every once in a while. Could be an opportunity here for the Vipers. They have a lot of work cut out for them here. Could be another one. This could be the start of something crazy. Not quite, however. Penguins are able to get out of their end.
Jocks with possession off the wall, does have a teammate to do a toss to. They lob it to High Ice, who pops it to midfield stripe as it goes to Be Happy. Free Ink looking for an opportunity to get this ball out of their defensive third. Can't quite do it though. Oh, sorry, out of the offensive third. And it does get stolen away, but Free Ink manages to corral it again. Has an opportunity to give to a teammate, but doesn't have enough speed to do so.
Llama Comp hits it downfield. Blocked out from High Ice, playing it off the corner. Scythe is in the way, gets 50, Be Happy. Trying to be in the way as well. Now Jockstrot off the wall, looks to play out mid over to High Ice, can't quite do it. It'll still remain at the midfield line. No team able to remain in complete control yet. Free Ink's trying to mount an offensive here. Can do it, but not in a meaningful enough way to find their 6th goal. Clock winding down. They have 20 seconds to score 3 goals. It's definitely doable, but I'm going to say that this game is probably wrapped at this point with how much time is being wasted. And the Penguins will take game 2.
Yeah, 10 seconds, 9 seconds, that's a goal every 3 seconds. That's impossible. No offense, Vipers, but even you guys can't do that. So, we're tied 1 aside in a best-of-3 series. Next 5 minutes after this ball finally hits the ground at some point, there we go, we'll ultimately decide our show series. And really, I can't make any predictions. I don't want to because I don't want to be accused of cast or cursing anything off these first 2 games because, like, first game, Vipers. Vipers all the way. Second game, I don't know what happened to the Vipers. They, like, there was just not enough grease in the gears or something. They were not responding in any form until, like, the last minute and 20 seconds or so.
Yeah.
So I think game number 3 is going to be our most competitive out of all of the games that we've seen for this show match.
You would think, but I mean, isn't that inherently, like, leaving it up to the caster's curse as well? But yeah, I think, I don't know, and if the math checks out, we should have, you know, like a 15-minute overtime in this next one. 0-0, 15-minute overtime, and then, you know, just all sorts of demos and everything. But honestly, I don't know. I have actually no clue who's going to come out on top of this one. Someone will win is my prediction. Oh my gosh, look at that penguin logo.
Isn't it cute?
That is a hilarious penguin logo.
I think it is adorable, and I'm here for it. Someone did a redesign, and half the logos ended up absolutely adorable, and I'm all here for it. I don't care if some team wants to feel super-duper aggressive. There is no way you can make a penguin that looks scary. At least I don't think so. Please, no one actually attempt to.
I'm going to take that challenge, and I will do some drawing tonight, and I will hit you up on Discord and let you know.
Aw, man. That's going to break my heart.
High Ice leading the back here for his team and not able to do anything else with it. Long shot from Llama Comp is just going to be wide. Jockstrap with the pass out. Not able to make anything of it, however. The play will kind of diffuse the midfield line unless Jockstrap has a good shot, but no, he does not. Oh, we almost got a little bit of help from the Penguins. Penguins maybe being a little bit too nice to the enemies here. But Scythe able to create an offensive. High Ice with the shot, but will be blocked at the midfield line. Neither team able to remain in complete control, but I'd say the pace of the game has picked up a little bit.
A little. Still no goals yet as we've crossed down past the 1 minute mark. In game number 1, that's where we saw Jocks find a connection, and, well, actually, at the 40-second mark, Jocks found a goal. So this is taking a while, which is a little interesting. We see Free Ink try to cut in and prevent the ball from crossing into their territory. High Ice plays it off the wall to Jocks, who's in a cherry-picking position, tries to pinch it into the corner, can't find the back of the net. Double commit from defense goes unpunished. They cross midfield stripe. Scythe with possession. Gonna have to go off the backboard, and unfortunately on a misplay, leaves the ball. Free Ink comes in, tries to get the ball into the back of the net, but there is not enough speed. They have to go for the double touch. They can't find it. Ball's pinched towards the ceiling. Bounces down to the ground. Looks like a defender is now sent to respawn, but the Penguins cannot find the back of the net nonetheless.
Free Ink, barely beat by Jockstrap and playing it downfield. Has an opportunity in front of the net. Not quite able to do anything with it yet. clear out mid. High ice in the way. The 50-50. Now Be Happy has an opportunity to take it up the wall. Can't quite do much with it yet. Just playing it slow in the corner. Neither team able to get a foothold. We're at that 0-0 scoreline. Who knows? We could have cast or cursed it into the longest overtime we have seen this side of the Mississippi.
I don't know if my vocal cords can handle that, but we'll have to wait and see. Free Ink looking to find the first goal of this series and doesn't find it. Ball crosses midfield stripe. Jocks plays it. Oh.
What?
Oh. Oh, no.
Some brief confusion on what team we were playing for there for the Vipers. Oh, a shot opportunity. Blocked right. Oh my goodness, and then Scythe clears it. Why are they clearing their own goals? Are they listening to us? Are they trying to cast or curse us? What is going on?
I think they're trying to tell me that my anxiety meds are not strong enough.
Jock's shot leading the way. The shot from the corner blocked by Be Happy. Just going to be a floater and hang out for a while. No response yet. 50-50 off the wall. High ice doesn't make contact. It rolls in the middle of the field. The 50-50. Finally, we've made it all the way to the midfield line, but no guarantees we even get to a Viper offense yet. Penguins could still hold their mounting offense.
We have crossed past the 100-second territory here in this last game of this best-of-3 series. Both teams tied, one aside. No one with a goal. Jockstrap finally... I'm not saying I cast or cursed that. There was no one there. If you were watching, you knew that was going in unless Jockstrap did an absolute whiff on the shot. Vipers finally find their first goal. Minute 25 seconds left on the clock.
Definitely plenty of time for the Penguins to come back. This is probably the smallest lead we've seen this late to a game. What
Okay.
is going on? Where are players? I don't understand.
Where car?
Freak, where car? Is that just going to roll in?
No way.
Okay. All right. All is well. Okay. Be Happy is able to get past one past side for Ink with the big clear downfield. It's a little bit wide by the look of it. Yep, recognized by Jockstrap. He just takes it towards the corner. Doesn't hold quality contact. He should be getting challenged. So where? Okay, there we go. Llama comes on him.
Free Ink just got sent to the respawn. Jocks with possession. Be Happy tries to help them out. Ball instead is actually played to the corner by the Vipers, I think unintentionally. Now High Ice pushing forward, has to pop it up over Lamacomp. Lamacomp can't make contact, and that is goal number 2 for the Vipers as we have 30 seconds left on the clock. This is where I can say that that can be the nail in the coffin. 30 seconds left, 2 goals scored in an entire 5-minute series, only in the last, minute and a half-ish. Probably secured victory for the Vipers if they don't let the Penguins do any funky business.
Yeah, definitely a lot of opportunities still here in these 10 seconds winding down, but it's going to require 1 goal right this second plus a kickoff goal, and I just don't see that happening. I see the Vipers walking away as the clock winds down. We go 4, 3, 2, 1, and the Llama comp is just going to burn time. The Vipers will come away with game 3 in this either 3-game series or best of 3.
So congratulations, Vipers. You are our show match winners. Definitely not easily won, as it took a very long time in game number 3 to find goals. And game number 2 was heavy-handedly won by the cute and adorable Penguins. And if you want the opportunity to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. As we prepare to close out our Esports Tower portion of our broadcast for today, do you have any closing thoughts as a whole to everything that occurred? I know there was a lot. I know there was a time where I think both you and I were fighting our own demons on desk while we watched what was going on screen.
I think all I'm going to say this week is shenanigans are acceptable and fun in short bursts.
All right, I agree with that. Congratulations to the Stingrays and all of our Esports Tower teams on a fantastic night of Rocket League. Stingrays are looking very strong on their way to the next title, but can they defend it? That's the real question. Make sure to join us next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we kick off a brand new Rumble. We'll close out today with the top 5 plays of the game presented by the Idaho Army National Guard. Actually, before we do that, we're going to do the ICCU player of the game. Any thoughts?
Oh man. I mean, I wouldn't honestly be surprised if we saw all 3 of the players from the Stingrays, but I feel like what it would probably end up being, oh gosh, I have a hard time even, I don't know.
I'm giving 2 nominees
You're
to the
giving 2?
Wolves.
You have to?
Yeah, 100%.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah, they did have quite a comeback there for a moment.
So I think Rose, and then no offense to you as Free Ink, but I think Rose and then not Sicko are my 2 nominations from the side of the Wolves. And then from the Stingrays, probably Cran. But
Yeah.
Cran, you've won a lot of ICCU Player of the Games. What about you?
You know, just for his valiant destruction on the defensive end, I'm going to go with Crazy Cats, and then Cran, and then Rose. Those will be my 3.
All right, so we have 2 in favor of the Wolves on my side and 2 in favor of the Stingrays on the side of Joe. So let's see who production picked, because at the end of the day, we are just giving suggestions, so don't hate on us, please.
Yeah, it's a wild guess as to what production is going to give us, and then we have to guess from those 3. So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we see any of those players.
Oh, it actually is going to be Rose.
It's just Rose.
Hey, I will take that. Congratulations, Rose. You're the ICCU Player of the Game. The ICCU Player of the Game is brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Rose is our ICCU Player of the Game. And you can see there, Rocket League college bound. So they're not yet claimed to anyone who's a recruiter currently watching our games. You might want to start talking to them.
Yep. Rose definitely had a good showing today in both series that he played in. Didn't quite close out the last one, but he did lead the pack for much of the beginning of that series.
I am excited to see more coming out from Rose in the coming weeks. So with that being said, now we're going to close out our broadcast today with the top 5 plays of the game, presented to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering $20,000 in bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming from us here at Boise State. Have a lovely evening, and we have more in store, so come back later if you're looking for more Rocket League action. See ya soon.